I couldn't find a picture of a silver coin, so I just figured I'd share with you what it looks like outside the studio, off the grid. So I'm getting bullish, if you will, as if I'm one to be bullish or bearish, or to differentiate between one or the other, but a little bit more in the direction of pro silver. And sometimes I'll start thinking about something that I wasn't thinking about previously for whatever reason. I think it's for a reason. Sometimes when I have those periods in which, I'm just not focused on it. For the last several years, I have just not been focused on silver. I look at the silver movement since I sold the silver that I was holding on to, which became the dollars, which was the down payment on this land. And it's just been basically going up and down, $17, whoa, $15, whoa, 16, 17, back and forth within, it really saw a lot more highs and lows, like back in the 80s, it was only up to like $50 an ounce, one coin, basically. Then it crashed down at one point, the same decade, to $10 an ounce. So a lot of wild shifts. So it's been kind of hanging around the same area. So looking at it the last few years, I would say that it is stable enough for investing in something. You're probably not going to lose out on your investment if you're invested in silver now. I mean, I think that's just basic. It's pretty low. And the prices have been suppressed. Demand's been high. I was looking at just outrageous demand. It was all over the news. It was set to skyrocket several years ago. Some of you that are more knowledgeable about silver know more about this than I hardly know a thing about it. But just a novice can look at this and see, okay, all-time high demand for the American Eagles, for example, um, or another top brand name for silver coins, and then they'll basically be sold out. But it won't reflect itself in the price of silver because, of course, you have production. So they could be like, okay, we got to manufacture, just kind of like with oil, manufacture more of this resource to maintain the price. But how long is that going to be going on? And I'm looking at Bitcoin and what's going on and the potential of a crash. And I started thinking about this several days ago about, I don't know about skyrocketing, but definitely getting up there, beyond $30 an ounce. And I think that's maybe, way beyond what could happen. But it's within the realm of possibility. Silver can move. You know, what's happening here is somewhat unprecedented with Bitcoin. Where there's a rise, there's a fall. What comes up goes down. Is it a bubble? Is it not a bubble? Well, if it is a bubble and a massive one, that's going to be one hell of a slide down. Don't you think there's going to be some people that want to invest in something that seems solid outside the dollar? What does that leave? What's tangible? What has traditionally been one of those things that people have invested in? It's silver. And is there a right way and a wrong way to do it? Yes. And would I be on board with the proper research? I don't know if I have friends that are deep into silver. I think I'm gonna have to do more research, right? But would I see value in sharing knowledge and news about precious metals right now as we see the potential fallout from Bitcoin? Absolutely. So I'm going to start reading more. But what I can see right now is, before I get into that, I want to talk about my brief experience with silver. Now, had I kept my money in dollars, even though I lost out, because you pay in at a certain amount, me not knowing what I'm doing. So what am I doing? I'm going to, those main companies or corporations that are selling on eBay. So I bought that roll at their retail price. So they're marking that up. I'm buying it above spot. Plus, I'm thinking I'll just get one type of every kind. So I might have, what's that kind with the buffalo with the Native American on it? Or Canadian maple. There could be something else. Sunshine Mint, that's another one. And then I mentioned the Eagle earlier, which is one of the premium most sought. But, premium versus generic aside, some stuff I'm still trying to work out. Does any of that really matter, or will it matter in the end? Can somebody get by staying away from some of the premiums and sticking with some of the cheaper silver rounds that are maybe only sold for about $1 above spot. And what about selling? So a proper buying and selling strategy. Okay, so my experience, summer of 2015, I'm buying in when I think it was higher than it is now. That's for sure. And when I sold it, see, my life was uncertain in 2015. And it was after leaving Portland, but before funding my land and before returning to Costilla County. For new listeners, I'll save you the long story. But the short story is I was interested in Costilla County, Colorado. And they changed their land use code and made it real difficult to live off the land. And in the end, that was a good thing. But that silver that I was holding on to was to be my investment in land. And so from the time of buying it to cashing out, I haven't done the math, but I'm going to estimate a loss of 30% total income. Hopefully not more. And there's fees that I'm not even thinking about. Right? So I want to avoid that situation. Was it a good investment for Alex Ansary, who is horrible with his money? But I've become very disciplined living off the grid, spending very little, only on necessities. But me being out and about around stores in the city, horrible with money. But yes, I live more frugally off the grid. It's also why I'm thinking about getting back into silver. Because if I can generate, and even if your donations come, and I'm just saying this now, with the sole intention of being invested in silver, feel free to let me know. Because sometimes that matters to an individual. Where is the donation going literally? Just to survive, or something that might actually mean something in the future? Equate to something. Somebody can donate $17 to get a coin now at $17. That one day in my hands could be worth 50. And so, this actually just came to me last night. I should be investing in precious metals, even if I'm poor. I like being different than others. I want to learn from my lessons last time. That's part of it. I want to get my winnings back. Wink, wink. You know what I mean? 30% loss. Fuck that. Fuck that. But Alex Ansary, so bad with his money, by investing in the coins, right? Even though I sold at 20% under spot from that one lady at the jeweler store, who even said, Ansary, huh? She kind of did a jab at my name for sounding different. Very unprofessional. So I kind of have a bad experience with the whole thing. Somewhere else, I finally got a deal where it was 10% below spot. So the spot price was lower than what I bought in, and I'm selling 10% off, 10% lower. But here's the good news. At least having established contact with someone that will buy it at that price here in the state of Colorado, and knowing that there might be other silver dealers, people that I might, these are all like, I guess, tips of the trade. Not that I'm of it, but these are the things people that are well versed at making money, morally, that is. There are immoral ways of making money in the silver industry. I'm talking about literally dealing with the coins, not paper stocks and things like that. I understand that is still a pretty big problem. And futures and things like that affecting, right, the value. But I'm looking long term and short term. A massive flight from Bitcoin could cause a massive rush into silver. So I did sell all the silver, except for maybe a few dimes, because getting the land was really important, right? Even if there was a loss. But at the time that I bought the silver, was I thinking about it going up the next year? No. I had it in my mind that by 2020 we would see potentially an explosion in silver before World War III. I think a lot of stuff we're seeing right now is premeditative. We're going to see a lot of things happen. So I think that we will see potentially an explosion in silver in the next few years. And I definitely don't see it as a bad investment. I guess it could go down to $4 an ounce, but do you really think so? I don't think so. I think the consensus is from people that are worth their salt is that it's bottomed out now. And people have been saying this last few years that have been watching silver. It's not going to go down much farther. They're waiting for the event, the big event that triggers all this with the silver. And there might be certain people that are just waiting in the wings for that to take place. Meanwhile, yes, I've been talking about Bitcoin in other videos. I don't buy the hype, but someone can make money. I think, is it McCaffrey? I hear people making statements about how they would chop off their own genitalia. See, that's really bizarre language. I don't see sane people saying things like that. I'm really turned off from. I don't listen to their lectures. I hear there are people that are a little anti the beast and anti transhumanism and anti all these globalist things. And you have a globalist banking thing that just about anybody can get involved in, but yet they're so anti globalism. But yet you have this thing can literally go all over the world, superseding nation states. I think they need to get their values straight. I think it's a recipe for disaster. I think people have been baited into it. And I think when the lever goes, it's going to go quickly. I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow. This can go on for a few years till it generates just enough resources, and then boom, the lever gets pulled. Now, silver has these long-term cycles you can look up online. There's also KitKat or Kitco News. Be sure to comment, let me know, find me on social media, stalk me on Twitter. Um, Let me know what your thoughts are on silver, the future of silver, and the importance of this being a topic on this YouTube channel. And whether we like it or not, discussing cryptocurrency and what's going on with it. And I'm going to try to be objective. I have my own bias, clearly, that I don't have a lot of faith in digital currencies in light of the threats that the grid faces. You can call it a bias, right? But I'm not going to start believing in the fairy tale reality, because that's what it is to me, where the money is returned to the people. That Bitcoin is going to be some sort of equal. We're gonna bring the wealth back to the people now. It's going to be 2008, 2009 in reverse. Just the very fact that people are spinning that type of imagery is just laughable, and it's a little insulting to one's intelligence. They want to act insulted if we're not on board Bitcoin. I'm a little bit insulted that people want to insult my intelligence and place you're either with us or you're with the dollar. Yeah, breathing heavy. The trolling's not that bad, folks. It could be worse. I would like to think that some of you are getting at whether it's currency, whether it's race, whether it's politics. The social engineers have figured out how to keep us at each other's throats. What do you think? And what do you think in terms of investing? Because even with the grid still up, right, there still is a point to investing in certain things. It's not just Bitcoin, not so much an enthusiast of the stock market, but we have not seen the collapse of the dollar yet. For whatever reason, they are still propping it up. Me being aware of this and not being in denial doesn't make me, pro fiat, Rothschild, Rockefeller, New World Order. It's gone childish. The way males, they aren't even men, the way males speak to each other with such a disrespectful tone, especially people that have never made a video or a documentary one day out of their lives, or a website, or written an article. It's just a troll storm. Hey, troll storm. That's signature. That's original. That's for me. Hashtag troll storm. Thank you very much. I'm Alex Ansary signing off. Feel free to send me some silver this year. Send it to one of those little secure boxes at the end of the airport, the bus station. Kidding. Or so you can send me a donation if you like this holiday season for the intention of buying silver. Right now, it's bottomed out. Will it go any lower? Most people don't think so. So many observers believe that we are on the cusp of a major leap in silver value.